The NBA is one of the most physical sports leagues in the world at this present time, so it doesn't come as a surprise that games tend to get heated at times. But the situation that is better is when two players, or specifically two star players, get into a heated argument, because it's sure to fuel both players to do better, giving a visual treat to the fans. Here are our top 7 picks for the best stars get heated moments in the NBA. Number 7. Karl Malone vs Isaiah Thomas. Everyone knows that the 90s were a particularly rough era for basketball in terms of the physicality of the play itself. But a testament to how physical the game actually was could be seen in the NBA Finals of 1991 between the Utah Jazz and Detroit Pistons. During the third game of the series, Isaiah Thomas, the point guard of the Detroit Pistons, was taking the ball to the hoop when he was elbowed by Karl Malone, who jumped up as if he was going for a block. Thomas quickly fell on the hardwood. The place quickly turned into a war zone with the referees struggling to keep the Pistons players and coach from attacking the players of the Jazz. The incident that left Isaiah Thomas on the floor required 40 stitches to be curtailed. Karl Malone was ejected from the game and was fined $10,000 for the incident as well. As horrible as the incident was, no one can argue the fact that the incident did add more spice to the series, making it more interesting. Number 6. Chris Paul vs Rajon Rondo. Rajon Rondo and Chris Paul were arguably two of the most celebrated point guards in the 2010s NBA, and the way it seems, they've been beefing for quite some time now, although it wasn't evident until the 2018 season. Paul was drafted by the New Orleans Hornets in 2005, and showed promise immediately after joining a struggling Hornets team. Rondo, on the other hand, was not as celebrated as an NBA prospect, but that all definitely changed when he won the NBA championship in just his second season in the year 2008. But in spite of his championship run and becoming a starting player in his rookie season, he was not considered to be a part of the 2008 US Redeem Team, but instead Chris Paul was chosen. Now, saying that the beef started then would be quite far-fetched, but it definitely left some bruises on Rondo. Things got worse in 2012 when, even though Chris Paul was out with an injury, Rondo was still not chosen to be part of the USA national team. Adding to that, right from the start of their careers, there was a constant comparison between Paul and Rondo, and reports suggest that there was even a point in 2010 when Rondo told Paul that he already has a ring, and Paul would never get one. But again, as mentioned earlier, this beef has been brewing for quite some time. In 2017, Rondo was playing with the New Orleans Pelicans, while Paul was part of the Houston Rockets, and somehow Rondo managed to start a fight with Paul in a game that he wasn't even playing, getting him a technical foul. This carried forward into the next season, and the match between the Lakers and the Rockets, where Rondo was now playing for the Lakers, and the two got into a physical fight, where Paul accused Rondo of spitting in his face, and so he poked Rondo in response. This led to a physical altercation that got both the players a technical foul, and further got them ejected from the game. Number 5. Kevin Garnett trash-talking Tim Duncan. Now, not all heated moments arise from physical altercations, and the next case is an example of that. Kevin Garnett is known to be a phenomenal trash talker who does not hold back from low blows if it means he can get into his opponent's head. Tim Duncan, although not as vocal as Kevin Garnett, is also known to trash talk, but in phrases. He would hit his opponents with small, simple phrases that would do the job of frustrating his opponent. And not to mention, both of them were exceptional power forwards of the game. This particular incident, though, occurred during the 1999 playoffs in a game between the Minnesota Timberwolves and the San Antonio Spurs. Tim Duncan was at the free throw line gearing up for a shot when Kevin Garnett whispered in his ear, "Happy Mother's Day, motherfucker." Tim Duncan had lost his mother when he was 14 years old, and Kevin Garnett was aware of this, and so the statement was quite a hurtful one as well. This started a lasting feud between the two players, and they wouldn't talk to each other. Thankfully, the fight between them has ended, and both of them are on good terms, even getting inducted into the Hall of Fame in the same year. But the trash talk fueled the game to a large extent when the players were still playing. Number 4. Metta World Peace elbowing James Harden. Ron Artest had to be one of the most notorious names in the history of the NBA. He was a part of the Pacers in 2004 when the brawl took place when they played against the Detroit Pistons, an incident that has since been dubbed as the Malice at the Palace. The incident and the consequences that followed prompted Artest to officially change his name to Metta World Peace and act as a harbinger and conveyor of peace. Well, that was not really the case. In 2012, Artest was playing for the Los Angeles Lakers, and during a match between the Lakers and the Oklahoma City Thunder, Artest got the ball, ran in and dunked it. During the celebration, he elbowed the shooting guard of Oklahoma City Thunder and future MVP James Harden in the head, which made Harden collapse on the floor. Obviously, Harden's teammates began to retaliate, but the referees got involved. Artest tried to justify his part, claiming it was a genuine accident, but it was of no use. He was ejected from the game, and for valid reasons. Number 3. Shaquille O'Neal vs Yao Ming. Shaquille O'Neal and Yao Ming are perhaps the most powerful and dominating big men to play the game of basketball. And in the struggle for power between the two, obviously there were altercations as well. Shaq was a dominant force and prided in the fact that he was hard to defend. That was until he met Yao Ming. The 7'6" center from China was probably one of the only players to have blocked Shaq thrice consecutively. Obviously, this led to some heated moments between the two players during the course of the game. But after the game was done, it was all good between the two players, who would laugh it off and leave the court happily. Number 2. Kobe Bryant vs Shaquille O'Neal. Shaq features on this list for the second time right now, and we can promise you this won't be the only time that the Black Mamba is featured. When two players play the game with as much dedication as these two players do, then fights are bound to break out. Except for one thing, both players were playing for the same team, the Los Angeles Lakers. The dynamic duo had one of the most successful runs in the NBA, and had a three-peat in 2000, 2001, and 2002. But the feud that the players had between themselves became quite popular around that time, with a young rookie Bryant telling Shaq that he would much rather take a shot than pass the ball, and Shaq can get the ball off the rebound if he wants it. There was also another instance where the teammates complained to Shaq about Kobe not passing the ball. Shaq confronted Kobe saying, "There is no I in team," but Kobe, in typical Mamba mentality, replied that there is an ME in that. Obviously, that attitude was not welcomed by Shaq, and there was a fight for the power dynamic within the team. Yet, somehow they managed to play together. That was until Shaq demanded a trade in 2004. Bryant has also cheekily commented that he has one more ring than Shaq after winning his 5th title. Number 1. Kobe Bryant doesn't flinch. We promised you that Kobe would feature on the list again, and that is none other than the number 1 spot on the list. Obviously, Black Mamba has to be number 1 when it comes to heated moments and responses. In a moment that has since gone on to become the ideal moment to showcase Mamba mentality, the number 1 spot is occupied by an altercation between Matt Barnes and Kobe Bryant. During a 2010 game between the Magic and the Lakers, Matt Barnes tried to trash talk Kobe, but when he saw it wasn't working, he even tried to fake the ball at Kobe's face. But hey, the Black Mamba doesn't flinch. It surely went down as one of the best moments in Kobe's career. Well, that's our list. Let us know what you think in the comments below. And don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more content. Goodbye.